I live up in Greenwood, very near Aurora Avenue, and we face a similar issue where, increased enforcement or different rules up and down the Aurora corridor, which has significant crime and safety issues as well. You oftentimes we see just what you're describing. You move the problem to a different place, and if we're not going to start, we have to figure out how to address root causes. Otherwise, we will just continue moving these issues from one neighborhood to another. In this case, issues of chronic public inebriation, for example, which the alcohol ban is intended to influence. The city did something that was actually a pretty good idea, and it's had support. Something called 1811 House in Denny Way downtown, where they found that if they actually just provided housing for people, they chose the worst cases, the hardest cases, the ones that were costing us the most in resources in terms of emergency medical response, police response, emergency room services. And they provided them with a place to live. And it was okay if they drank there. And this sounds counterintuitive. But the result is that the city saved a lot of money. And by providing an opportunity for stable housing, it turns out that the people living there have a much greater opportunity to start dealing with these problems than they would if they're out on the street. So what I would say is we need to, there are standards of behavior in public, including drunkenness, including, intimidation or harassment of other people that aren't acceptable. But if that's all we do is try to move the problem around, we won't solve it. We have to go to root causes.
Can you see the kind of housing that you're talking about expanding, or is that something that would specifically have to be in a certain neighborhood? How do you see that working?
Well, this is challenging because neighborhoods are, of course, concerned. We've seen this already, with low-income housing or any type of transitional housing. There's, of course, concern that it will make the neighborhood worse. But I think 1811 House has been a big success, and I think the record shows that it's somebody who has a drug or alcohol abuse problem isn't necessarily, a criminal or causing crime, and we need to be able to create more. And the citing of these things is difficult, and you have to work with communities on this. But I think it's a better solution than just moving people around.